With the phone to be shedding more light on this top story and the second presidential activity of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Sunday. I am honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Noha Bakr, the Professor of Political Science. Thank you very much for being with us today, Doctor, on the Daily Debate.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine. First of all, how do you see the importance of holding at the Arab League a summit entitled Supporting Jerusalem, in specific with the participation of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Cairo?
Well, actually, the recent development has been very drastic in Palestine. The violence has been exceeding all what has been before. There has been 45 Palestinians have been killed so far this year.
Yes.
Also, we have 10 people of the Israeli side also have been killed during this time, same year. This escalation of violence has been for many reasons. The fact that we are having officials visiting Jerusalem, the fact that we have been having Israeli officials insisting on going there and going to the holy places, which are really considered owned by all religions there. They are trying to give it the color or the image that it is Israeli. This has led dozens of leaders and senior officials from the Arab Islamic countries to warn on Sunday that the Israeli actions in Jerusalem and occupied West Bank could worsen the regional turmoil and would increase the violence there. Egypt has been always putting the Palestinian case on as part of its foreign policy, and has been always caring about the Palestinians. This has led to the meetings of today, to also having the King of Jordan and the Palestinian president. And in addition to the fact that also the UN Security Council hears calls for maintaining status quo at Jerusalem's holy sites. Actually, the fact that in the core today and in the core of the Palestinian recent developments are Jerusalem's holy sites, and it's really worrying. As you mentioned, that President Sisi has been calling that Jerusalem is the backbone of the Palestinian cause. And he warned today about the recent development and that Israelis' move to change the status quo of the holy sites will have negative impacts on future negotiations, in addition to the fact that it worries the Palestinians and it agitates anger in Palestine. So Egypt is bringing in the Arab League to the limelight the Palestinian problem. We know that the Palestinian crisis or the struggle of the Palestinians has been going backward on the international agenda, and that's why today it's to try to bring it back to the light on the international agenda, trying to put the international community in front of their responsibility. We have been seeing King Abdullah talking today about that Israelis, what they are doing now will lead to an increase of the violence. We have seen Ahmed Abul Gheit, the Secretary General of the Arab League, warning of the attempts to partition of Al-Aqsa Mosque and how this will affect the situation. We have seen President Abbas talking about going to the United Nations and trying to get a resolution to condemn what the Israelis are doing. So we've been also seeing a visit from the Secretary of State, American Secretary of State, to try to calm the situation. So it is the developments, because of the Israeli recent deeds regarding Al-Aqsa Mosque and the holy places that is leading to lots of tension, and Egypt is trying to contain all this, to try to solve the solution, to find solution to the problem, especially that there is trust from all parties in the Egyptian side.
On the other hand, Doctor, how did you see the statements made by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi regarding the rejection of any trial of the Israeli side to be changing the status quo of Jerusalem and Palestine?
President Sisi is talking the words of wisdom, because this will fuel lots of violence that will affect the whole region, not only the Israelis and the Palestinians. So these are the words of wisdom to all parties, especially, and focusing on the Israelis, that actually this is a very dramatic time, and we need to work on calming the situation. We need the Israelis to stop what they are trying to do into the holy places in order to calm the situation, and to build a step in order to try to start negotiation again regarding the Palestinian-Israeli conflict.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the two-state solution that President Sisi always speaks about and always delivers during his speeches regarding Palestine and Jerusalem? Do you think that this is attainable in the near future, especially as you mentioned, tens have been killed from the Palestinian side this year, and about 10 or 11 people from the Israeli side have been killed as well. All those conflicts taking place at the beginning of the year, in January and February, at the beginning of the year. Do you think that this year, or maybe in the near future, in the upcoming years, we could be seeing the two-state solution?
Well, the 45 Palestinian killed and the 10 Israeli killed, again, in 2 months, this is a very high level of violence. Will this lead to coming back to the table of negotiations? Well, this is our hope, and the two-state solution has been an Arab demand and a Palestinian demand. Unfortunately, the Israeli side, they are continuing to build settlements. So what's left from land to negotiate on is diminishing and decreasing. And that's why we've been also condemning the building of settlements. We're all hopeful that the Israelis will come to their senses, that also the Palestinians will unite together, all the factions there, in order to start the negotiations. But again, in a world that is out of the pandemic, and that's all focusing on the Ukrainian-Russian war and
yes,
the problems of energy in Europe, this makes the Palestinian-Israeli conflict not on the top lines of the agenda of the international community. However, the Palestinians and the Arabs behind them have to keep asking and demanding for a solution. Otherwise, we will find that the whole situation will be completely ignored by the international community.
Yes, during his speech, President Sisi also mentioned the international community in specific to be restoring calm, to be trying to be restoring calm in the region in general, more specifically the conflict and the escalation that is taking place between the Israelis and the Palestinians. You've mentioned, Doctor, the visit made by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to the region in the past couple of weeks, a meeting with His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the same period. Do you think that this visit has had the results that he wanted to have, the U.S. Secretary of State, after the visit?
Well, it is a step to reach a result. The result will not be overnight. However, the Secretary General coming, the Secretary of State coming to Egypt as his first step, because he trusts the wisdom of the Egyptian diplomacy. He wants to hear from Egypt. He knows that Egypt has been playing a role in calming the situation before between the Israelis and the Palestinians. He knows that Egypt is trusted by both sides. So simply that's why he came to here, and from the Egyptians and from President Sisi, and trying to go to the Israeli and to the Palestinian side to calm the situation. Unfortunately, when we talk about the international community role, the international community is too busy with the problems worldwide, and also the international community, because of the weakness of the international organizations recently, the United Nations has not been able to solve the problems worldwide, globally. This resulted in the fact that the international community cannot play a role in solving the situation, because simply they are in the weakest stage.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the timing of the Supporting Jerusalem Summit here in Cairo by the Arab League?
It's Egypt playing its role. It's Egypt as a nation and a state that has strong, wise diplomacy that has been acting with great wisdom on all levels, on different files, has been proving that their decisions when it comes to regional issues, because you know that the region is full of, has been full of drama in the last 13 years. So it proves that Egypt continues to play its role, continues to hold on its shoulders the worries of the Palestinians, and continues to keep the Palestinian case. Because if you listen to all the speeches of the president in the General Assembly in the United Nations every September, you will find that he brings to the limelight the Palestinian misery, and he brings to the international community that major part of the problem in the region is that the roots are in the Palestinian. And solving the Palestinian crisis or the Palestinian-Israeli conflict will lead to calming the region. So it is one of the main pillars of the foreign policy in Egypt.
Doctor, you mentioned that the Jerusalem summit, that the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is not the priority for the international community, especially what is going on between Ukraine and Russia and the conflict there. This is not the main priority for the international community. But do you think that the practices, the violent practices made by Israel in Jerusalem and the rest of Palestine could be having negative impacts and repercussions on the rest of the Middle East, not just for Palestine or the conflict between Palestine and Israel?
Of course, it's fuming the anger of youth. It's making the Palestinians desperate, and when you're desperate, you often increase the violence. So simply, yes, although the international community doesn't focus now on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, although we know that it is not on the top of the priorities, but still solving this problem will ease the situation in the region, will calm the situation, will give extremists less excuses to attract young people to their side. So yes, it's part of the roots of of the problems in our region, and that's why there has been calls from wise Arab leaders, Egypt among them, to calm the situation and to try to find a solution to it.
Yes, during the summit, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, he rejected and announced the rejection of the whole of the Palestinian people for the Balfour Declaration. How do you read such a strong statement from the Palestinian president?
Well, it has been always the case, because Balfour Declaration is the starting point where those who do not own gave those who do not deserve. So simply, but unfortunately, it has set a status quo. It has given the Israelis an opportunity, and they continue to build their institutions. They continue to build settlements, and now we have to find a solution to live together. And this solution has been declared by all Arabs and the Palestinians as two-state solution. But they are buying time by negotiations, or stopping the negotiations and then going back to the negotiations, seizing opportunities whenever it's possible, in order to maintain the status quo and even build more and more settlements, regardless of all the calls of the international community to stop building settlements and to start or go back to the negotiations. But we also have to say that the Palestinians also need to unite in order to start finding the solution, or to start again to negotiate, to try to find a solution.
And finally, Doctor, how do you see the future of reconstructing Palestine? Because we had seen in the past couple of years initiatives to be reconstructing Gaza in specific, with the help and the aid of the Egyptian government and the Egyptian people as well. Do you think that this could be the case once again for the whole of Palestine after the escalation that we had seen at the beginning of the year?
Unfortunately, we need to calm the situation now, because you cannot. The funds that were done, the efforts that were done by Egypt, and the funds that were being done by the Gulf states, all this needs that you calm the situation in order to start to build efforts and to build opportunities, job opportunities, and to build proper lives to the Palestinians in Gaza, who has been suffering for the last period. It has been long. Their suffer has been long. and also uniting the Palestinians all under one leadership in order to be able to give a proper life to the Palestinians.
Yes, Dr. Noha Bakr, the Professor of Political Science, thank you very much for being with us on the phone for the daily debate for tonight. Thank you very much once again. We'll be heading to the third part of the presidential activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Sunday, and the third top story for the daily debate for tonight, and it comes from Egypt's 2023, the Egyptian International Conference and Exhibition for Petroleum in its sixth edition. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated on Sunday the sixth session of Egypt International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, Egypt's 2023. Officials described the exhibition as the most important event in North Africa and the Mediterranean countries, attended by the executive heads in the energy, oil and gas sectors worldwide. The exhibition draws attendance by the energy ministers, government representatives, high-ranking officials in the European Union, secretaries of the major international energy organizations, business leaders and investors in the energy sector. President al-Sisi also attended a dialogue session on the importance of cooperation in the field of energy and climate change. He said that the Mediterranean Gas Forum plays an important role in the increased gas discoveries lately. The head of state also stressed that the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum helped in absorbing the negative effects of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis. We will be heading, however, to the first report of the daily debate for tonight. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurating the sixth edition of Egypt's 2023, the Egyptian International Exhibition and Conference for Petroleum. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report, so stay tuned.
President Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated on Sunday the sixth edition of Egypt International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, the most important event in North Africa and the Mediterranean countries. The exhibition is attended by CEOs in energy, oil and gas sectors, in addition to a group of ministers, energy government representatives, high-level officials of the European Union, secretaries of major international energy organizations, business leaders and investors in the energy sector. The exhibition aims to shed light on ways to support progress of oil and gas sectors, in addition to strengthening partnerships and reviewing the best solutions and strategies that will change the future of the sector during the coming years. The conference is held from 12th to 18th of February under the slogan North Africa and the Mediterranean, supporting global supply and demand for sustainable energy. Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources confirms its strong presence year after year on regional and international arenas, as it is an Egyptian platform that brings together world energy industry leaders, international oil and gas companies, major international entities, and technology companies to enhance new opportunities in Egypt in a way that boosts growth and development. The exhibition also aims for more international partnerships and the establishment of a direct dialogue between Egyptian oil and gas industry and international leaders of the energy industry. The output offers more opportunities of cooperation and joint investment, in addition to representing best practices and experiences that can develop and support the industry. Al-Mulla added that the convening of the conference comes in the wake of the COP27 climate conference, as it enhances efforts to reduce emissions in the oil and gas industry. The conference and exhibition attract more than 32,000 participants, more than 2,000 delegates, 41 international oil and gas companies, 500 exhibitors, and 260 speakers. The exhibition includes 12 international pavilions, and its sessions exceed 65 discussion sessions. The conference agenda includes strategic dialogue sessions in the presence of ministers and heads of major international energy, oil gas and technology companies.